Am I unmuted now? um, there I am. Okay, let me repeat all of that. Exiled Faye, hello. I hope you're having a good day. Senator JG, enjoy your work lurk, I assume. Peter, hello. How are you? Sorry. You know what though? Windows ran an update this morning, and I imagine that it changed a bunch of my sound settings. Because it does that. Which annoys me. Um, okay, it didn't do what it did last time, which really annoyed me. I'm here. I apologize for the late start. I was debating pretty much right up until I decided to stream, whether or not to stream, but I'm feeling pretty decent this morning. I'm gonna give it a go. We're gonna get through some edits. I decided to name the chapter titles. I'm trying to save myself some grief this time, and I'm writing down potential future chapter titles from the start. We'll see how that goes, how long it takes me to regret it, but I looked at my original notes for the original project, and I did have chapter titles noted down, so I kind of felt like I should stay true to the OG. So we'll see. You seem so excited in that opening. No, it's all good. It's all good. I'm still sick and now very tired. I only had a few hours of sleep and I left here at 6:13 a.m. and traveled to the other side of the country. I'm just glad that you guys told me I was muted, or I would have done this whole stream muted, in all honesty. So, I saw your pictures, Peter, that you posted on the Discord. I'm so jealous. If you're in Edinburgh right now, I recognized that spot with the castle. I love that city. It is gorgeous. I hope that you heard gorgeous, gorgeous bagpipes while you were walking down the street this morning. One of my favorite things about that place is that if you walk down the street in the morning, there's inevitably someone serenading bagpipes on the street corner. And I love bagpipes. Big ghost pepper chaos energy. You're the main reason I posted them. Well, I thank you for doing that. I hope you're having a good time. How long are you in Edinburgh, Peter? And are you there for a specific reason or just hanging out, chillaxing? I know bagpipes get such a bad rep for being like, for being not pleasant sounding, but like they're so gorgeous. I don't understand. I mean, I assume if you're learning to play the bagpipes and you don't yet understand how to play them, that they might sound like a squeaky mess. But when an expert is playing the bagpipes, they're just absolutely glorious. So do not comprehend the hate. Just passing through and back on my way to a funeral back home now, though. Well, thank you for those gorgeous pictures, Peter. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry to hear that you were headed to a funeral. I hope that it went well. I hope that you were able to get the closure of the ceremony. And we're sending you all of our love. That is so loud. My thing was very loud. Have I ever seen Piper Alley on Facebook? I'll be honest with you, I don't do much on Facebook anymore. I know a guy who can't stand them, but he lived above a beginner for a while and heard nothing but Amazing Grace badly played for too long. Yeah, see, that I could understand. If you've, like, listened to somebody learning to play bagpipes, I imagine it sounds completely different. But any instrument is like that. If you're first learning how to play an instrument, it's gonna go poorly at first. It takes so much time to, like, settle in and actually learn, like, the right breathing techniques and how much air you need to make the right sounds. Like, you know, I played the flute when I was in high school, and it could sound like just a squeaky mess. Oh no, my white noise, what is it doing? It reloaded, why? Why would you do this to me? And yeah, it would just sound like a squeaky mess. I mean, and I was friends with a clarinet player, it would sound like a dead cat. When you're first learning, everything is a little bit of a mess. What is happening? My white noise keeps loading and then, like, unloading? I'll try it one more time. It hates this generator. I don't know why. I might have to go log into the site. No. Because I think I'm using a generator that's only available for subscribers. You'd think that, like, having the link to it would be enough, but apparently it's not. Sorry, guys. It worked so well yesterday that I just thought it would work today. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I really loved the photo of the trees by the water with the sun rising behind them. I saw that and was like, massive Megan energy. I appreciate. I mean, I think every inch of Scotland is gorgeous in its own right. You kind of got all the blessings. You guys kind of got all the blessings of nature, I feel. But yeah, gorgeous photos for sure. All right, I'm logged in. So let's see if this will work now. For more than 20 seconds. Because I'd like to get started on actually working today because we have a lot to do. So I'm hoping to do chapters 2 and 3 because that's 2 scenes. You can't play It's a Horror Show, but someone who does know the pipes and can play them is an absolute master. Exactly. Exactly. Sorry to hop right into the writing stuff. Hopefully this will cooperate. But I have some longer stuff to work on today. Also, I know that I'm really prone to rambling, so if I don't get on focus pretty quickly, Ghost Pepper is sick again, so we are kind of doing we kind of have developed a sort of in-house quarantine protocol. So if he's sick, we don't kiss. Like, we try not to breathe on each other. And we don't hug from the front. We hug each other from behind. And we don't snuggle as much. We allow each other to be in proximity and stuff, but we sort of try not to transfer germs. Yeah, so we initiated that last night when he came home and was like, yeah, I have a sore throat. What tea can I drink? I seem to be okay so far. I don't have a scratchy throat or anything, but I have other health stuff going on this week as well. So, we are both very flighty and prone to distraction, and that was one of the reasons why I almost didn't do the stream this morning. Was I was like, can I actually focus? But I'm gonna try. I'm gonna give it my best shot. We'll do what we can. We've initiated Ghost Protocol, exactly. will ruin your life. It's not so much like I have the, discipline and like I can make the choice to say, "Hey, you guys keep talking. I'm going to work on my stuff." But I was thinking about this morning, like the less good you feel, like the harder it is to make decisions because your executive function just goes haywire, right? You can't prioritize, you can't make good choices. And so I'm kind of at the point where, with the way I'm feeling this week, and this happens to me pretty often, so I'm just familiar with it, is like if I don't have a clear-cut decision that's super easy to make, my brain will just be like, you don't know what to do in this situation because anything could go wrong. Hit the panic button, which doesn't help anything. And then I just way overthink everything. So I'm gonna attempt to not do that while I'm on stream. We'll see how it goes. Yesterday we edited these two scenes. I think it went really well. I'm feeling really excited about this project now. Hey, Barely Bookish, how's it going? Because I can actually start to see how it's gonna look when it's polished. It's a train wreck right now. I'm nervous about the second scene that we're gonna edit today, hopefully, because it needs a lot. I know it's missing a lot of description and possibly some dialogue. It wasn't so much that I rushed when I wrote it, but sometimes when I write a first draft, I focus on expediency. And so I had specific thoughts. It did it again. What is going on? Okay, I'm gonna have to close this and reopen Chrome and see if I can fix this because I can't have it like interrupting in the middle of my sprints. That's going to be very distracting. No, that's not what I want you to do. I want to completely reopen it from scratch. Okay, that wasn't... It closed my other tab, but that's fine. Let's see if this... It only does that. It only does it with this specific generator as well. I never have problems with my other ones. What was I saying? See? Distraction. I focus on expediency during first drafts a lot. So I had specific ideas that I wanted to express, and I realized that I hadn't really come up with physical descriptions for several of the people who were participating in the conversation. And instead of stopping to decide what I wanted all of those people to be, I had already given them names, but instead of like stopping and being like, I have to have a deep thought moment about who these people are and what they're doing, I just kept going because it was easier in the moment to just sort of push through and get all the ideas out and worry about what this guy looks like and what race this person is, and because we're dealing with fantasy races and stuff, right? So I just sort of decided to leave that for editing, which I do a lot. It's easier for me during the rough draft stage, but it means that during the editing stage, I have to take that slow down and say, okay, now I need to decide what this person looks like. I need to get more people involved in this conversation because it's very one-sided right now. And so I'm not looking forward to editing that scene because I know I left myself a lot of work. It's probably the scene in the book that needs the most, like off the top of my head, that I'm dreading the most because I know that I did that. Have you ever been so ill and just rattled off words that you've gone back and when you're well and been like, holy crap, this is good awful? I've written on painkillers before, and I've definitely come back and been like, the hell was I thinking when I wrote this? But sometimes it's better to get the work done and fix it later than to not get it done, right? I've done that with audio. I've recorded and just made word salad, and then when I've listened back to it when I'm feeling better, I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? Yeah. And in fairness to me, the scene is very workable. It has a very good foundation. I just know that I need to get in there and sort of it's almost like if you think like a sculptor, I've gone in, I've chiseled out my rough outline of a figure, and now I have to go in and actually tease out all the details, and I just know it's going to be a pain in the ass. But the reason why I'm talking about all this is because editing is so important to the writing process. When you write, there are so many things to think about in any given scene. There's your tone, there's your atmosphere, there's what your characters are actually doing and what they're actually saying, what's happening in the background, what does the room look like, what do the other people look like, who's like, what's the movement, who's moving things around, what's going on in the background, what's going on in the foreground. And so sometimes when you've got a big scene, like the scene in question is a big council chamber, there's a lot of characters present. It was the fourth scene that I wrote in this book. I didn't have a really good handle on the world. I didn't really have the brain power to sort of put together on the fly who these people were going to be. It was easier to just focus on the main portion of what was happening, on the events, on the main character, on creating this foundation, this backdrop for everything to happen. And then now that is all in there, it's much easier. It should be much easier to go in and tease out those little details that I just didn't have a handle on the first time around. So I heavily encourage you, if you're writing a scene and you know what you want that scene to be and you know what you want to have happen and you're getting stuck on the little details, it's okay to just leave them out and put them in later. It's really, really okay to build your scenes in layers throughout drafts, because there's so much to focus on in a first draft that sometimes it can just be completely overwhelming, and dropping one or two things and saying I'll set those aside and deal with them later can sometimes mean the difference between getting something done and just being paralyzed and unable to move forward with it. It does come home to roost. Like I'm at the point where now it's time to think about that stuff. But first, before we do that, we have chapter 2, which is our introduction. So we've introduced two of our main characters and edited the scenes that they're introduced in. We've introduced Aleith, who is the main character. We've introduced Ciri, who is one of our secondary main characters. They both appear in the first chapter of the book. And now we are working on Jaelin's introduction, which is slightly longer because it takes place in a different place. This was the first scene that I wrote in this book that really kind of made me feel like, okay, I can actually tell this story. So I definitely sort of caught my stride when it came to this scene. It's quite a bit longer than the stuff we edited yesterday. But I expect most of this to be pretty clean. I don't have a ton of notes for this. You guys can see yesterday there was just like a sea of notes. For this one, we've established that Jaelin has at some point in the past conducted a ritual which connected him to some sort of shadow being of great power. And we know that at some point in the book, he essentially makes a quest or makes a promise to himself that he wants to rid himself of this connection. He wants to be free of this being that is constantly tempting him down a dark path. So I kind of want to have just a hint of that traumatic bonding, just some small glimpse of the connection being forged between the two of them happen at some point in this chapter. And also, like with the first chapter, I might need to give this more context. I might need to say where this place is. Now, I have established a couple of countries. And I might have it be either, I believe we've established Novalon and Brasconia as two countries. in the book, I might have it be in one of those places. And again, to just start giving context to where scenes are happening so that later, when we have a map, people know where to look for things. On the flip side, do you ever have the fear that when you're writing and you're kind of stuck, has there ever been a fear of, I can't leave this out because it may lead to something great I haven't thought of yet? No, because usually I haven't thought of it yet. So my priority is always to get down the things that I've thought of, to prioritize the things that I know that I want to do. And I trust myself to fill in everything else later. If you've come up with an idea, if you've come up with a world, if you've started connecting pieces of it, it's perfectly reasonable to trust yourself to fill it in later. And here's the way I do it is I write my first draft, and then I usually sit my first draft on a shelf for anywhere between a month to a year. Now with this book, I believe we finished writing it, I believe it was beginning of October. So it's sat on a shelf for most of 2 months, and my brain has sort of been working on the problems and the things that I've noted down during those 2 months. And now I'm ready to think of all those things that I hadn't thought of before. You giving yourself time to think about something makes it better, not worse. If you write down everything that you already know and then trust yourself to come back and fill in the blanks later, to know it better later, it'll work out. It's hard to have that trust because what we see in front of us is much more concrete, and something that's going to happen 6 months down the road is nebulous and hard to trust. But I've left giant gaping holes in my books before, and I've always been able to fill them in. And I've never regretted, the way that I end up doing it. I get so caught up on details and time and place because I don't want to contradict what I write later. Yeah, contradict yourself. It's totally fine. I do it all the time. You have to fix it in edits, but it's okay. It's okay to have to say two different things and then decide later which one you like. It's okay. It's hard to be okay with that stuff. I know that I'm sitting here saying it's okay, just do it. And I know that doesn't make it easier to do. You have to fight with yourself to do it. But if you're able to free yourself from those things that make you feel stuck, then the more you do that, the easier it is to not get held back by them, if that makes sense. You learn to basically be Sonic. You gather so much momentum that eventually you just break through the barrier and it doesn't stick to you. It can't catch you because you're moving too fast. I don't know if that's a good analogy. But that's how I think of it. I try to maintain heavy momentum during my rough drafts, and then I slow down during my edits. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad it makes sense. So yeah, I'm not going to be adding too many heavy details to this particular scene because I feel like it was pretty well fleshed out when I wrote it. I do have to make a couple distinctions about how the magic works again. I've been trying to do that. But I'm not too worried. So we're going to get started. We're going to be doing 30-minute sprints. We are starting with 2,205 words in this scene. I just put words instead of word start. I've flashed this on screen before, but basically what I do to record my edits is I record how many words I start with, how many words I end with. If I've added words in throughout, I keep a running tally and I add that up at the end. And then I calculate the difference in words, accounting for how many I've added to try and figure out how much I've added and how much I've subtracted. Those get added together along with 10% of the words that I've edited, and then that becomes my word count. In Game of Tomes, they do have a calculation based on time, and I like that better, and I might switch to that in the future or at least incorporate time into my calculation somehow, because I think it's better representative. But for now, for the end of the year, I want to keep everything consistent. Yeah, Ursula. It is morning, so we're drinking from Ursula. Do you keep every draft? I do. I was showing yesterday. I have, this is from like 2011, the first draft, and it's only 11,000 words. And then this is the draft that we wrote on stream. I keep a copy of everything because you never know when it will be useful to go back and look at something. Like, I went back and looked at my original notes last night when I decided to name the chapters. If I significantly change... I have every single draft of everything I've done if I significantly change something, because the draft is a kind of... It becomes the next draft is a kind of rule I have. Yeah. No, that's... I do the same. I have a file organization system that accounts for that, for sure. I don't even actually have a final draft section. I have a release format section. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the 30-minute timer. I'm going to do 30 minutes of hard focus here, and then we'll probably take a break. Because I need more breaks than normal lately. Plus the Nami Mimu, we need those drafts. Yeah, you need, I guess, framed photographs of the first page of each draft. I'll let you decide how that works. You're better at this than me. I can't tell you how amazing it is that you've like planned out a museum of my work. I think that's so cool. All right, so I did do the first couple lines out loud yesterday, so I'll do that again for chapter 2 here. Our opening of chapters is just as important as opening of books. So our opening line here is, dust clung to his fingers and dirt caked the area beneath his nails as Jalen lifted the ornate box from the ancient cache that had protected it for the last several thousand years. I'm also pretty happy with that sentence. Dust clung to his fingers and dirt caked the area beneath his nails as Jalen lifted the ornate box from the ancient cache that had protected it. Maybe we'll get rid of the had. Dust clung to his fingers and dirt caked the area beneath his nails as Jalen lifted the ornate box from the ancient cache that protected it for the last several thousand years. It took months to gently prise the ancient container from the compressed dirt that sat atop its once proud monument, but seeing the ornate twisting pattern carved across the surface of the polished wood made every second of sweat and toil worthwhile. Pretty solid opening. In audio editing, we never have a final edit because there's always final edit 2, then file edit finished. Yeah, it's the same with writing. Pretty immersive sentence. There's a lot of elements in it that I love and brings you in. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, I won't do every sentence out loud, but I feel like since I promised to show you guys a bit of my process, I should do a few. So just done a few adjustments to make sure that I'm not using the same words too much. I made the sentence worse. No, it reloaded on me again. What the hell is up with this thing today? I might just have to switch generators. I don't understand why it's doing this to me today. It was fine for like an hour. Let's just try if it just works with my other one. If it does the same thing, then... is fine for about an hour. That describes me on any given day. Listen. I know that feeling too, guys. I do. I was really struggling by the end of the day yesterday. Hey, Seals Apple! How's it going? I spent like 20 minutes on this one sentence, I'm not gonna lie. Doing good. How are you? I'm doing pretty okay. It's been a weird, rough week, but I'm skating along, getting the work done as best I can. That's been me for this entire paper I'm working on. The you get about a solid hour out of it and then you crash and burn, or the I made this sentence worse, or I spent 20 minutes on a single sentence. I understand all of those feelings. All of the above. I feel you. I feel you. What type of paper is it? Apple? My back itches. This lady needs a name. Um, a paper for my musicology seminar discussing new methodologies to give narrative to un or underrepresented groups and or individuals in music. Oh, very interesting. To help give stories to marginalized voices. So trying to make music history less male and white, or at least the future of it. That's very cool, Apple, and very important as well, I feel. Megan gets us. That's why she's the leader we need in our life. I don't know if I'm leader material. Rune Wolf, hello. How's it going? What is up? Let's generate this lady a name. Piss. It literally generated piss as a name. Cool, cool, cool. Ooh, I like Avora. Let's go for it. Avora. Hey, Kiki. Supposed to stream today, but I overslept. Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. You could always start late. I did. Just relaxing. Aurora is a pretty name. It is a pretty name. The struggle has been real. I mean, you're dealing with a really heavy topic, Seal's Apple, so I imagine finding the words to express, like, what's in your mind is probably quite challenging. How often do you use or tweak names of people you know in your work? I write mostly fantasy novels, so I almost never use real people's names. Mine is more earth-based, so I generally use normal names, but I've run out of names. So names like Jennifer and Megan and Flutter's actual name are starting to pop up. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It also serves as a good reminder of the person, both good and bad, and sometimes they change the character that way. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Since I tend to write in fantasy worlds, it doesn't tend to pop up for me. I actually used a character named after Flutter's last name as the name of a turn-of-the-century security officer in a project I'm working on. That's so cool. Send help, my keyboard is randomly adding double spacing to all my sentences and I'm gonna lose my mind. Are you sure is it happening in more than one program, Barely Bookish? Or is it only happening in your word processor? Because that sounds like it could be a word processor problem, but also that's troublesome. Oh no. So like you hit the space bar once and it does it twice every time? I wonder if that's a Windows thing. What the sprint timer's almost over. We'll Google it. We'll Google it in a minute. Half the time. Interesting. I know when I first got this keyboard, I had to get used to it because it would double space every now and then when I hit the space bar, but if it's doing it most of the time. Check, that's what I was thinking, if it's sticky keys. Hey, Supernatural Writer. How are you? So we got about halfway through that scene in the first go. Not bad, especially since I got a bit stuck on the opening, being a little bit rough there. I still haven't entirely decided where I want to put my little flash of him having his interaction with this creature for the first time, but we'll get there. Sticky keys is off. Sticky keys can get turned on accidentally, depending on if you hit a certain button enough times. If Windows updated, it may have messed with your settings. That is true. Been a while. Good to see you. It has been a while. November was insane, Supernatural. So I hope you've been having a good time. We'll be lurking as I'm working right now, but here to support. Always appreciate. I hope things are going well for you, words and otherwise. I thought it would be consistent. Yeah, it should be consistent. The cute part is Twitch takes out all the double spacing when I press send, so you'll never know what I'm dealing with. No, but Word won't do that. Unless maybe you could set it to, like, autocorrect 2 spaces to 1, but that doesn't really solve the problem, does it? Windows needs to leave shit alone. Amen to that. Double check sticky keys. I'm going to the control panel. Yeah, let's just do a quick keyboard typing double spaces. Windows. If your keyboard is double spacing, restart your computer and clean your keyboard? That's not helpful. If it's a brand new keyboard, check your keyboard settings. Okay, this might be helpful. Maybe. So it says... Go to control panel, click devices and printers. It sounds like you're doing that. I rarely use words when I'm writing blog posts. Now I just imagine like an interpretive dance blog post. That would be amazing. It's an old keyboard. Okay. So it says check the... I think you want to check like the delay. So it says right-click keyboard, select keyboard settings, adjust the repeat delay to long. If it's an older keyboard, it could be, but usually they stick instead of, and then they don't do anything instead of doing too much of the thing. Usually the key, like, stops working. So this is what they're talking about. You can change the repeat delay closer to long, or the repeat rate, and you can test it in here and see if that helps. If it's across everything. But, yeah, if it seems to be doing it in everything and it's not software related, it might be a good idea to... You don't even necessarily need a compressed air tool. I've shown this before, but basically, if it's your spacebar key, so, sorry, I'm not trying to show my lap, I'm trying to show my keyboard. You can... My keyboard needs cleaned, you can tell. You can basically just slide, like, a pencil or a screwdriver or something up under there. Disconnect your keyboard first, but you can just pull this right up, under and just clean under the key. And see if that helps. You can get compressed air to do it, but you can just very gently pry up that key. Use, a very lightly damp cloth to just clean around, the sensor area. And to clean the bottom of the key, and then snap it back in and see if that makes a difference as well. Yeah, cleaning keyboards is not as difficult as it initially seems. Because I regularly, and I need to do it again this Christmas, I regularly just pull all the keys off my keyboard, wipe them down, and just gently clean the area underneath, because I eat at my computer, even though I shouldn't. But yeah, if it's just that one key, I would say try prying it up and gently cleaning it and seeing if that makes a difference, because then you can at least use it until you have time to give it a more thorough clean. How do I remember where the keys go? I lay it out in the order of the keyboard on my desk, but I also take a screenshot. I also take a picture. I take a picture of my keyboard. I take a screenshot with my eyes and beam it to my brain. No, I take a picture of my keyboard before I take the keys off. 'Cause you can just put the keys on in any order. So you don't necessarily want to do that. But yeah, cleaning your keyboard can be a pain in the butt, but it's much easier than it initially seems. My only advice is like don't get any water down in like the actual keyboard area. Clean it with a dry cloth or something like a very small screwdriver first to scrape out any debris, and then use a very, very lightly damp, like, cloth to wipe away anything else. Make sure you're not getting any of the sensors or the little mechanical bits wet. And then you can lightly clean the keys. The keys themselves, once they're disconnected, can get damp. And just make sure they're dry before you put them back in. And it takes a while. It takes like a couple hours, but it's worth doing. Fairly Bookish, we're sending you good luck. Think I fixed it? Fingers crossed! Fingers and toes crossed! Fairly Bookish. You gotta be able to type. It's so important. I would absolutely get bored with that, and my brain would be like, great, finish, and next time I try to type, hello, how are you, it ends up. I mean, I just get hyper-focused on things sometimes. I'm gonna take a quick bio break and get back into edits because we're running behind as usual, but I need a quick bio break. Please remember to get up, stretch, move around. I noticed that this white noise seems to be working just fine. Frickin'. So, do that. If you need to take medication, remember to take your meds. I took mine this morning. I can tell because the little thing is open. And I will be right back with more edits. And Barely Bookish, I'm crossing my fingers and toes that your keyboard stays fixed. Ran a troubleshooter and it was like, there are no problems. There were problems indeed. That's so Windows. All right. There might be some ads that play during the break, just a heads up. I'm back. I'm gonna try one more time to get this freaking thing to do what I want it to do. I was just reminded of You Go Glen Coco, and I'm afraid it's going to be all I say for the never forever. So, Barely Bookish, did you run the troubleshooter and it was like, there are no problems, and then it found problems anyway? I just remembered I got a text from Mr. Pepper. No. Why does my phone do this? That's not what I want it to say. Ugh. No. Nothing wants to work right now, and I'm not digging it in any way. I don't understand why it's this one specific generator that it doesn't like. It totally 100% is just that one generator. Flanny, thank you so much for the raid! Of course, right when we're having technical difficulties. And Delta Flareon, too! Oh my gosh! Hello, friends. Whoops. If I can hit shout out. Bean Farm raid, and shout out Delta Flareon. Did I spell that right? Delta? No, I didn't. I typed Flareon. That should be right. Playing Stardew Valley. Hello, Raiders. How's it going? I'm trying to fix my friggin'... Trying to fix this thing because it doesn't want to work properly. I'm trying to trick it into working properly. Let's see if I do just this one. I'll just have to use the other one because it doesn't... I'll have to go back and just pick a different soundscape for this project because for some reason it just won't play that one. But it plays the one for my other novel fine. How did Stardew Valley go? Hold on to your cargo shorts. Hey, Sans, how's it going? Guys, did you know that I'm 1 follower away from... Actually, I missed it. Delta Flareon followed me. Delta Flareon, you're my 500th follower. You're actually number 500. So thank you. And a heart, because I didn't give you a heart. I was neglecting my duties as a streamer. You're my 500th follower. I have 500 followers now. I can't believe it. Sans, how you doing? Bean Farm raid. Doing good, Twitch says. I wasn't following you yet. I swear I was. You know what? I've had that happen like 5 times. But now you're my 500th follower, so you get that distinction. It went pretty well. We had to restart, but you can't ever have too many farm restarts. I think my bestie and I restart every time we play. I mean, that's how it goes with those sorts of things, I think. I've never actually gotten to the end of Stardew Valley because we always restart. Before I usually marry Elliot and get some coffee and love poetry, and then we have to restart. Got green algae stuck to our teeth. Is that a good thing or bad thing? Just perfecting my skills by restarting all the time, I guess. I don't play that game very efficiently, so I think like definitely because the way I like level up my character in Stardew Valley is very meticulous. So I'm not very efficient. It's got a slimy crunch. It's becoming a running gag in our playthrough that various things get stuck in our teeth, including villagers. Flanny, are you engaging in cannibalism? Is that what I'm hearing? We are working on, this is my Everyone's Child project. It's a high fantasy epic that I wrote completely on stream, planned, outlined, and wrote completely on stream. I'm not going to get to edit it completely on stream, unfortunately, but we are working our way through chapter 2, which is the third scene in the book. I'm just gonna, before I restart the timer, I'm just gonna take a peek here and find out where I want to add this stuff in, just in case I've already passed it. I actually think here is a good place to add that. I think maybe we'll put the location country drop here. So perfect, because they're both going to be at the beginning of the new sprint. So I don't have to go back and fiddle with anything that I already edited. Hooray! No, they just get stuck there. Flanny, I don't think that really explains to me what you're doing with the villagers. I'm just putting it out there. I'm gonna assume, if it's not heard otherwise, that it's browse. Oh, also, Flanny, because I know that you are a Blurp champion Blurp creator, there is a clip in Ghost's Discord from last night of him saying something about being stuck in sticky white stuff. If you could work your magic on that, we'd all greatly appreciate it. We talked about algae cookies. I think watching Jim Pickens, Call Me Kevin, form a cult to run his farm has ruined me for Stardew Valley. Like, I can't top that. I have not heard of that. I'm gonna have to look that up. I've decided to deal with it for the moment, as it seems to be less now. It was every other, now it's about once every other sentence. Good luck, Barely Bookish. I mean, it does sound like it's working better. I know that when I got this keyboard, it would do that to me a lot. Like, I had a lot of extra double spacing, and I eventually just sort of got used to it and it doesn't happen as often anymore. But if you can, like, bear with it until you get a chance to clean the keyboard, that might be better than having to drop everything and clean the keyboard. We walk by, they get stuck in our teeth. It's fine. Flanny, I knew I could count on you. You are the best wizard of blurpetry. I don't know if that's a thing. I'm gonna decide that it is. But I know, because Woof asked me to clip it, so I know that people want it blurped. All right, I'm going to start that 30-minute timer. I'm going to get quiet while I focus, but you guys can feel free to chat as much as you like. Zelsa and Flannel, thank you so much for hopping in and for that raid. Sorry to be so scatterbrained dealing with technical stuff, but is it really a stream if there's not technical difficulties at some point? And I hope you guys are having a really good day. We're doing 30-minute sprints today for editing. So, let's do it. I know that I just rewrote a perfectly good sentence, but I'm trying to vary my sentence structure so that it's not always, so it doesn't always feel like Jalen did this, Jalen did that. And it changes the cadence of the reading and makes it feel more interesting. Gonna lurk, barely bookish, thank you so much for the lurk. Good luck with the keyboard. I'm so sorry it's giving you difficulties. Flanny, you're the best. Now, everybody get ready to drop that in Ghost's next stream so that he can get infuriated. Blurp is a little extension that you can get for your Twitch channel that lets users play sound clips. I don't have it installed because it would be disruptive to what we do here. But my husband, Ghost Pepper, and many of our friends, Flanny, Collie, have it installed on their channels. And you can basically use bits to play the sound clip. And so we like to make sound clips of our friends saying things out of context and play them on their streams. And Ghost always does a salty pepper when he realizes what we've blurped of him. Thank you, Flanny. That is amazing. I'll play it. I'm not connected to my computer right now, headphone-wise, so I will play it on stream later. But yeah, I would love for Ghost to be introduced to that blurp during his next stream. I believe I said I was going to make this Brusconia. Is that what it's called? Brusconia. I almost typed unsuspected instead of unexpected. There you go. Great. I don't know where my brain came up with that one, but it happened. Dad, hey, how's it going? I go into one meeting and now I'm lurking on it again 3 times. I'm just so prolific. Unsuspected, exactly. That's what I tried to type. My brain was just like, it was unsuspected. Oh my goodness. Also, Dad, how's it going? Add it to the erotica words list? I definitely should. That had to be a bird. I just saw a giant black thing like descend out my window, but by the time I turned my head, it was gone. Had to be a bird. I need to mark down that I added this. 33 words. Add some more. Hey, Senator. Oh, here times 3 now. Browse. I was just saying, I'm very prolific. I'm apparently getting hand sock fuzz in my coffee. That's not good. Senator, how's work going? Dad, how's work going? Hey, Neo, how's it going? It's chill. I leave for Vegas tomorrow. Senator, really? That's awesome. Is that for business trip or for like a personal trip? You're all right, Neil? I'm doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Just trying to keep focused today. For fun, going to National Finals Rodeo and have some amazing tickets to hockey. Knights versus Flyers, third row. That sounds awesome. And then get trashed with my brother for funsies. Have you have you talked to Flutter, Senator? Because there's potentially a bar that you might want to visit while you're there. I can always toss her a message for you. Wish I had siblings, but alas, I be an only child. I mean, I have 2 younger brothers. Mixed feelings. No, my brothers are great. I shouldn't say that. My brothers are great. We didn't always get along growing up, but they're great. I don't write for the company anymore. They literally broke my contract. I'll work as team manager next week. Do you get some kind of compensation for them breaking your contract? It sounds like maybe not, since they tried to blame you. Enjoy New Vegas. You might get to go to the Lucky 38. Siblings are a blessing when you're young, and when you're younger can be a curse. Exactly. Where on the strip is that? I don't want to say it. Well, I don't want to say it on stream, but basically Flutter just got a job at a bar on the strip. So I don't know if she wants me to say exactly where it is on stream, but if you would possibly be interested in dropping by while she's working, drop her a message, Senator, and let her know that you're going to be in Vegas. And I would imagine that she would enjoy meeting up with you. She loves to meet people from Twitch. Hopefully it's not doxing her to say that she, I think it's on the strip. I don't even actually know where it is. I know it's near a touristy part of Vegas. I don't necessarily think it's doxing her to say that because she mentioned it on stream. But yeah, if you're gonna be there, like, she'd probably love, if she's working, she won't be able to have a drink with you, but if you meet up at a time when she's not working, she'd probably love to have a drink with you, so. If you're talking about the swing dancing bar, there's Jilly's and there's another off the strip that's fun. Yeah, I know she was talking about it on our stream on Friday, but I don't know that she said the name of it. But I know she loves to meet up with people, so. All right. There's a few minutes left on this sprint, so I am going to actually... page break and start on chapter 3, which is the one I'm really worried about because I have to add a bunch of stuff to it. We're in more Discords together than I realized. Yeah, if you're in Flutter's Discord, that is the best one to contact her through. But I can also just shoot her a message and get some deets for you. Oh my gosh, the image that Flannel put with this blurb. It's too good. It's too good. I shot Flutter a quick message on Messenger for you, Senator. I don't know if she's around right now because she did just start a new job, but I'll see what she say. I don't know if it's the right place to talk about my mixed feelings about my work, but I'm sad and angry. I left my job, but come on, it's robbery. But at the same time, I know my previous job was fantastic as well, and people are happy to see me again, while my current job... I have a reputation of work zealot. Everything must be done a week before the deadline, so I don't know. You message her on Discord? Perfect. Perfect. She'll probably answer you because you're the one going. Neo, I'll talk a little bit more about this during the break, but it's perfectly okay to have mixed feelings, and it's perfectly okay to talk about them. We've got 3 hydrates for Pi. Pi, how are you? What's up? What you doing? A 1. A 2. And a 3, licks to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop. I mean, hydrates. Ooh, I like the opening of this scene. Alethea spun on her heel, causing her shoulder-length midnight hair to fan about her like a cloak flapping in the wind. So our first paragraph for chapter 3, Alethea spun on her heel, causing her shoulder-length midnight hair to fan about her like a cloak flapping in the wind. The gesture was graceful, allowing her to face the direction she came from without skipping a beat. She hoped the fierce look on her face would keep anyone from approaching as she sauntered back across the small meeting room and performed a second spin. So right away we're setting our mood tone here. DWHBU, I'm not sure. Oh, doing well. How about you? I got there. I'm doing pretty good, Pi. How have you been? I haven't seen you for a while. I was like, brain no comprehend, but then it caught up. The gears turned. I got there. Whoops. All right, timer is up. We are into... Oh, I forgot to mark how many words that was before I started fiddling with it. No worries, there's a solution for that. People don't like me. They always complain about working too much. Imagine trying to respect a deadline is working too much. I mean, so, yeah, we love you here, Neo. I know you mean at your work, but just so you know, we do love you here. And thank you, Runewolf, for reminding Neo that he is a valued member of this community. I totally understand how you feel. The fact of the matter is you were offered a contract, you did the job well, you enjoyed the job despite the challenges, and they cheated you out of what you were promised a short time after you had settled into that new work and gotten used to it. And that sucks. And it's never not gonna suck. So being angry and frustrated about that is okay. It's okay to be frustrated and angry that you were made promises by your employer that they didn't follow through with, and as a result, you have to be the one to sort of pick up the pieces of that. I don't know the full details of what happened, and I'm sure you can't necessarily share the full details with me because contracts are involved. But it's 100% okay to feel shitty about it, and to express feeling shitty about it, because what happened was shitty, and you shouldn't have been treated that way. 100%. Like, whatever the details were, you should not have been treated that way. It's wrong. And it's okay to be angry about something that happened to you that was wrong. And to speak out about it so that people know, hey, if someone tries to break your contract or bend your contract, it's okay for you to stand up to that, because you should. Multiple people are involved too. It sucks. It really does, Neo. Like, now, I know nothing I can say or do is going to change that, and you're 100% justified in feeling that way. That said, going back to your old job does have silver linings, and one of them is that you're respected there by your team members. They appreciate the work that you do. They're not going to get on your case for you working to the deadlines or dislike you for just being a good worker. It sounds like your new co-workers were kind of not the greatest. And that was a position that could have turned into a toxic work environment, which is also not great. I know that's all hypothetical and, you know, doesn't necessarily soften the blow. But you're going back to a job where you know you excel, where you know people appreciate the work that you do. It sucks. Like, I assume that your old job was more hazardous than your new job, and that the hours were longer and that there's less working from home. All of that sucks. But I know you're good at that job. Your coworkers know you're good at that job. Your boss knows you're good at that job. And you know you're good at that job. So at least you have a recourse. At least you have somewhere to go. You have a position that you somewhat enjoy to return to. You can put this part of your life behind you. It's not necessarily going to erase that anger and frustration, but it's good that you have that recourse. It's good that you can take care of yourself. You have livelihood. And you have the respect of the people who you're working with. I know you struggled in that position sometimes with some of the people that you had to work with being jerk faces, the people outside your team, and I know that it's not going to be fun to deal with that again. But, I know that you do a good job. And your coworkers know that you do a good job. And now you don't have to deal with the contracts and the deadlines and the people not pulling their weight. And it's okay to feel relieved about that too. It's okay to be angry and still feel relieved. It's okay to feel both ways at the same time. If you're conflicted, if you're having trouble working through that, it's okay to be both happy and sad. You don't have to choose one or the other. Brains are complicated. Feelings are complicated. My coworkers remind me of the lazy guy at my old job always saying, "It's all right, no worries, we don't care." Yeah. Like, you don't have to deal with that anymore. And that's good. And it's okay to be relieved about that, but still angry that they screwed you over. I wish that I could offer, also Diz is Living, hello, how's it going? I wish that I could offer more to you. I know that I can't. But just know that we're here for you. We're sending you good thoughts. And it's okay to be upset about what happened. It honestly, it is. It probably won't go away for a while. You'll probably have moments for a while, and that's okay, because you got screwed over, and it sucks. And it sucks that we live in a world where people with money and fancy lawyers are able to do that to people all the time. It sucks. I've not quite as directly been on the other side of being screwed over by people with their fancy lawyers, but I've been in situations where legal red tape has screwed me over, and it sucks. It really does. The work itself is great. That's why I'm angry and sad. Yeah, I get it. I know you enjoyed doing that job, Neo. I know you did. And I know that's why it hurts, because you were excited about that job, you were interested and engaged in that job, and it was taken away from you by a choice that somebody else made, and you didn't really get a say in what happened to you. It sucks. But like I said, I know you're great in your old position. I know you will do great in that position. And this doesn't mean that there aren't going to be other opportunities for writing for you in the future. It just means that this particular one didn't work out. And maybe it's better that it didn't work out now, because maybe you would have gotten embroiled. Maybe that department is going to get embroiled in other crap later. And if they do, you get to sit back and say, I didn't have to deal with that. I got out. So, I won't say just focus on the positive stuff, because it's okay to be angry. But I know you won't let that anger stop you or hold you back. And that's the most important thing, is moving forward and being able to forge a new path, right? And that goes for anyone who's having like a rough time and or had something that they had to experience recently or deal with recently. I know we've kind of live in a society where everyone's like, try to focus on the positives. And sometimes that's good. Sometimes focusing on the positive is good. Being able to see the silver lining, being able to see if you dodged a bullet, those are all good things, but we can't ignore our negative emotions. And so if something has happened to you and you're sad or you're angry or you're having a rough time, it's okay to acknowledge those feelings and talk about those feelings and not necessarily push them aside. Because if we don't deal with our negative feelings, then they just fester. It's okay to feel what you're feeling, but know that no one, including yourself, wants you to stay there. Exactly. And we, as Senator said, we will help as much as we can. I always feel a little bit guilty when I'm unable to push past my negative emotions quickly, but I've come to learn that there's usually a reason for that. And so, you know, being upset that you had a contract and someone broke your contract and did something that sounds essentially illegal and screwed you over, that's pretty worth being upset over. You know, not to the detriment of yourself, or, you know, you don't want to drive yourself into the ground trying to pursue like recourse of that, but I get it. Legal stuff like that is a headache and a half. So I'm sorry you've been going through that, Neo, but I hope that you're able to put it behind you, and I hope that bright things are in your future, and we're here for you. Please know that we are. I'm going to take another quick break because I need a bio break. And then we are going to, yes, let me fix. This is one of the reasons why we keep an original draft, is so that if we accidentally do a bunch of editing and we forgot to write down how many words were in the chapter we're trying to edit before we touched it, we can go over here and we can go reference. No, yeah, reference. Where's word count? Where's. No, it's review. That's why I can't find it. 2,270. 2270. Perfect. And if we go back here and look at what we changed this scene to, so chapter 2, we started with 2,205 words. We're ending with 2,259. And we added about 150 words in there, and of course subtracted some. So that's where we stand, 2 sprints in. We might need 2 more sprints to finish this because I need to do a fair amount of description adding to this chapter. But we'll see. I'm going to take a quick break and we will come back. I'm trying to get back in the habit of playing ads, so I do apologize. There might be some ads during the break. I'm trying to keep them just during the breaks. Angel Faye writing my epilogue today. That's amazing. I'm glad to hear that. How is it going? I think of a woman I work with. She has 3 kids, divorced, but she has no backup like me, and that's rough. Exactly. Like, I know it's a shitty situation, but it could be worse. Which, again, doesn't necessarily make it okay, doesn't necessarily make it better, but I'm glad that you have recourse. I'm glad that you have a job that is waiting with open arms for you to go back to. I'm glad that you have that transition, because otherwise I would be much more worried about you, Neo, if you were going to be unemployed as a result of this. So I know it might be cold comfort, you know, in terms of what happened, but it is something. It's going amazing. That's awesome, Angel Faye. I'm so glad that you're close to it. Are you going to finish today, or are you going to take a couple of days to finish? We prefer you being comfy. Exactly. Absolutely. We want you to stay the comfy one. 100%. I'm going to BRB, and then we will get on with the next spront. I have returned. It's gonna take a couple of days. Good luck, Angel Faye. I'm cheering for you all those days. Please let us know when you hit the end. It's always awesome to hit the end. Oh gosh, now that I actually have the proper pillow for this chair, it's so much nicer. Oh my goodness. Especially today, because my back is not entirely happy today. Oh my goodness. Neo, I hope you're at least feeling loved. I know I can't necessarily make you feel better, but I hope talking it out made you feel at least momentarily a little bit more reassured. That is one of the reasons that I am here, is to help people out if they're having a rough day, a rough time, as best I can. My whole body is in pain. No, Angel Faye, I hope you're taking care of yourself as well. I hope you're not pushing too hard. I know that drive to get as much work done as you can, but take care of yourself too. Get rest. Rest that back. Make sure that I've got a back pillow right here. That's why I'm doing this right now. Make sure you got a good support for that back. Keep it nice and happy, because back pain can be a real pain. And also that can have a long-term lasting effect. So work is killing me, but what can we do? Oh gosh, I feel you. I just hope that you're taking good care of yourself, and I hope your back feels better soon. I'm no stranger to the back being in pain. I keep getting this weird, this is totally random, you probably can't even see, my little pinky finger nail keeps splitting, like in the same spot all the time, and I don't know why. And it's not a horizontal break, it's like a vertical break, so there's like, it's not painful because it's quite long, but there's like a little, you can't see it, it's not going to show up on camera. So there's a little nick out of my nail, which is fine, but it makes my nail sharp, and I keep scratching myself. Without meaning to, so fun times. Random, I know. Need a good rest. I'm going to finish the scene and then go to bed. Sounds like a good plan, Angel Faye. Let's get the sprint timer running so that we can all do some focus. Fiddle with this because it mutes every time I go AFK. My white noise isn't like me today. It cooperated with me yesterday, and now it's like, screw you, lady. Let's get 30 minutes on the clock. And let's see how much of this scene we can chew through. I'm gonna have to do so much describing in this scene. But I think that's mostly my note for this, is just to describe the other members of the council and have them do some talking. So hopefully it'll be a condensed amount of additions, and then I can just blow through the rest. I love how haughty my main character, Aleith, turned out. Like, instantly, she's so haughty. Finished my day with 1,127 words. Off to bed. Good night, Megan and chat. Angel Faye, thank you so much for stopping by. Really appreciate it. Get that good rest. Take care. I hope your back feels better in the morning. Congrats on those words, and I can't wait for you to write the end on that epilogue. Take care, Angel Faye. I just love how sassy this character is. I mean, she's gonna get hoisted by her own petard sooner or later. Actually, in this scene, she does. But I just love how she's like, how dare they do this? How dare they do this to me? How dare anyone do anything to me? Is this doing widows and orphans? Because I don't want that. Please. Whoops. Paragraph. Okay, I don't think I ever described this chamber. So did I make notes about what this place looks like, or am I making it up now? Now, did I establish... Not really. I didn't really give myself anything to work with here. Actually, let's go to Pinterest and let's do... fancy. And we want all pins. I like this. I like this. One second, let me finish this thought, Neo, and I'll grab the ears for you. Just give me a minute to get just give me a minute to get everything together because I gotta get these thoughts out of my head at the same time. So it might take me a few minutes to get everything settled for you, Neo. Just bear with me for a few minutes here. Gotta write another quick paragraph, and then this is the Southern Belle. This is what you asked for, my sweet. This is what you wanted. Hat. Ooh, no, don't fall down. Oh, we're getting there. We're getting there, Neo. We're getting to everything. It's happening. I assure you, it's gonna be absolutely fantastic when we get there. It's a whole process. I think it works better if I do it this way. Never remember how I'll make this work until I need to make it work again, and then I forget. There we go. We're in business. We got a hat. We got ears. We've got frantic typing happening. It's all fantastic. Southern style 100%. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Neo. That's the most important thing, is that you're enjoying what you redeemed. There. Now our room has a description, which is very important. Okay, I added 230 words there. Now we just need to describe the people. Now, I'm pretty sure I did describe this dude a little bit. Maybe. Possibly. I didn't. I feel like most of the time when you see like a grand council of people, it's usually there's usually an elf at the head. So let's turn that upside down. Let's make this guy a dwarf. Dwarf with an elf servant that makes sure everything is clean while their master definitely isn't. It just reminded me of a Borderlands character. Someone should be some sort of NPC in the game with the accent and the hats. Oh, sigh, I was supposed to be talking like a Southern belle, wasn't I? Some sort of NPC with accents and hats. I mean, I certainly could suggest something like that for Winds of Chaos. I've got a lot of fantasy races to represent in this council, so I think we're gonna have a dwarf for the Grand Master. That's another 93 words added there. luckily I've got a really good foundation here, so around everything that I'm adding in, everything's really solid. I just have to put in the descriptions of the people and the place. And I've left there's really good spots to put all that stuff in. So now we've only edited 2 pages of this scene, and we've probably added in, we've probably only added in about a third of a page, but we've described the room where this conversation is taking place. We've described the main person who's running this council, and I'm gonna try to sprinkle little bits and pieces of the other mage council occupants, members, into the scene as well as we go. But I haven't had to touch the dialogue, I haven't had to touch the action because all that's already really solid. We're just working on the little details that really paint that picture in the reader's head when they finally get to see this. I'm actually gonna go straight into another sprint because it is almost 10 after 1, and I'm gonna have to eat at some point, so I might actually use that 20-minute timer and see if I can get this done by 1:30, because I gotta eat some lunch at some point. I know that sounds really weird saying it in this accent, but that's gotta happen at some point in time. So we're just gonna soldier on ahead. I don't know if I'm gonna get every single member of the council described in here, because there are, I think, are there 7 of them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that we haven't described. So yeah, there's 7 of them. And I don't know, I think that might be a little too much. But we're gonna try to get some of those people in there. We're gonna try to get some of them mentioned. We're gonna try to get some of them speaking. And I want to check in particular. Jaelin is an Earth and Light Shadow Mage, I believe. So we want to get the Light and Shadow Master mentioned. We might want to get the Earth School mentioned because these are people that might be important. And we want the Fire Master to be mentioned because Aleith herself is a fire mage. So just gonna give priority to the people who are more likely to pop up sooner rather than later. So she is Fire and Force. So that those are the four, and then if the air and the water master don't get mentioned as much, that might be okay. We don't want an information overload here, but we do want to get some of that description in there to really make sure that people can see what's going on in the heads. I know that the time has probably run down on the ears, but I'm going to leave them on for a little extra because I know the intent was for me to be wearing this the whole time, and it took me a few minutes to get there. 3 to Smeagol is free. Free time. Gonna pop off, do after work stuff. Exiled Faye, thank you so much for hanging out. I hope you have a good time post-work. I hope you're feeling better. I hope you keep feeling better. I hope you don't have to deal with any more of that icky stuff. We're thinking of you. We're sending you good vibes. I might not be back until next week, but I will be on the Discord if you need anything. Please take care, and good luck to you. And that was all serious, even though I said it as a Southern Belle. Don't let the accent fool you. Don't let the accent make you think that I don't mean it. Alright, just making sure I haven't got anything important needing my immediate attention. I'm gonna turn this timer. Whoops. Don't use the timer for 2 days and I lose it. My goodness. Oh, hang on. We gotta put that timer. I put that timer back where it belongs. I forgot I moved that during Game of Tomes. So it would be more readable. Let's restart that timer. 20 minutes. Let's see how far we get. Leader, hello. It finally happened again. I got my money. Nice. You got paid, I'm assuming. Glad to hear it. Lita, how you doing? We're talking like a Southern Belle right now, because Neo redeemed it. What is up? Money's always good. Just gonna blow my nose. First thing I did was buy dog tag so I can finally play with people. Nice. Ghost has really been enjoying it. Took so long to get my first week paycheck. The second week paycheck is tomorrow. That happens a lot, actually. Your first payment is almost always delayed, which sucks. But now that they've started paying you, it should be pretty regular, which will be good. Good to know. That's why starting a new job is always such a pain in the butt, is because you always miss that first pay cycle. I'm gonna take these off now. Ooh. Fuzz. Ooh, I did have someone else talk. Exciting. change this. Maybe not. Hey, Squatter VHS, how's it going? Probably not going to get this page edited in 3 minutes, but let's see how it goes. We're almost finished. I think I'm just gonna forge on ahead here without the timer because I gotta get this done so I can eat lunch. I'm doing pretty good, Splatter VHS. Starting to feel a little under the weather, but holding on, getting these scenes edited. I've had to add tons of description to this little bit here, but I think it's going well. Did I add this to my list? Yes. I basically got a bunch of new characters in this scene, and I'm trying to make sure they've been described because they are going to pop up again later. I didn't get... Didn't get all of them in there, but I got a few of the Mage Council in there. I believe that is gonna be finished. So yeah, we have seven council mages. I got 2 quite detailed and 2 quite sketchy descriptions in there, which does leave a few people who weren't necessarily mentioned or described. But it starts an introduction. I think it sprinkles in some breadcrumbs without doing too much of an info dump. I'm gonna go eat lunch and then read over the scene one more time and see if I feel like it's enough description. There was almost no description in this scene prior to what we just edited, and now I think we've got a much clearer image of where this is taking place and who it's happening with. So we started with 2,270 words in this scene. We are ending with 2,542, and I suspect since I probably removed about 100 or 200 words that we actually added probably around 400 to 500 words of description in. So when I say to you guys that I underwrite my descriptions in my first drafts, you now know just how true that is. I am going to have to wrap up stream here. I know this is a bit of a speedy wrap up, but I gotta go get me some food. My tummy is rumbling. Sorry, my eyes are also itchy apparently. But yeah, that's 2 scenes. One that we did almost nothing with, and one where there was a lot of description added in. I'm much happier with this scene now. I want to take a step away from it and come back because I'm never entirely sure if I added enough or too much until I sort of look at it with fresh eyes. So I'll do that off stream, but I'm fairly happy with this. This was probably the most troublesome scene from the first draft, and going through it again, I think I've seeded it with a few more breadcrumbs for use later. So happy about that. Let's see who is on. I will actually switch my headphones over to my computer so that we can see who's streaming and get a raid going. Being slack and playing some Guild Wars 2 before I start my day. Hey, no worries. There's nothing wrong with starting out the day with a little bit of fun to get you in the mood. Who have we got? It looks like Anne is on, and we haven't rated her in a month. So maybe we're gonna head over there. Head over and say hi to her. She is a good bean.
That is just...
I'm trying to raid all the people that I didn't raid during November because we were doing lots of Game of Tomes streams. You have a good one too, Splatter VHS. Good luck with your day. If you're writing today, I hope that the words flow for you and for everyone else. Seals Apple, good luck with your paper. Thank you so much for hanging out. I'm gonna get the raid going here. We've got some raid calls, but please feel free to use any emotes that make you happy. Just spread the love. Let Anne know that we're hanging out with her, and that we are giving her some love. Thank you guys so much for bearing with me today, because I feel like I was very scatterbrained and very all over the place. Thank you for hanging out. I really appreciate it. I'm glad to be getting edits moving on this particular project. I'm going to be taking off until next week because we've got a holiday party this weekend and just so many events and health things that are happening that I don't think I will be able to find another chance to stream. But I won't be working on this project again until next week anyway, so I will be back hopefully Monday morning or Monday afternoon with more edits on this particular book. It's been so cool to share this process with you, and I hope you guys are enjoying it. Please take care. Remember to eat, to hydrate, to rest, and to just keep being your awesome selves because you're all awesome. I will be sure to say hi to Ghost Splatter. He will appreciate that as he's a little under the weather right now. Take care, my friends. I love you all. You're amazing, and I'll see you again soon.